Hello and welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. Apparently, we can't work a camera today. By that I mean I can't work a camera today. All right, so today we are going to, which is very unusual for us, remodel the bathroom. We're going to take out this shower, which is very roomy if you're a small ant or a cockroach. We're going to take out this jacuzzi tub, which is actually not bad. And then we're going to make one huge shower with 2 shower heads, which will be fantastical. We're also going to, eventually, Fidel is going to come and put a new granite here. We're going to take out this mirror, we're going to change out this light, we're going to put texture in here, and we're going to lay all new floors throughout the entire house. How exciting is that? The answer is 112% exciting. I'm pretty sure that's a real thing. All right, so a lot of you guys probably sit around, if you're anything like me, and wonder like, will this happen? Will you imagine this, okay? You're sitting at your desk or wherever it is that you work right now, and then somebody walks in and they go, John, I need to show you a couple of things. And you're like, all right, I'm intrigued. And like, do you see this? And you're like, that's an enormous pile of pizza. And they're like, that's how much pizza you've eaten in your life. And I'm like, well, that doesn't look very impressive. Like, you see that? That's all the ice cream you've eaten in your life. And I'm like, you see all that? That's all the food you've eaten at gas stations in your life. And I'm like, and you see this? This is all the healthy food that you've eaten. And I'm like, it doesn't look like very much. They're like, actually, you didn't finish this. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, and I'm like, could I just have a body that reflects how I should have eaten instead of how I actually ate? And I'll be like, it doesn't work like that. Just like it doesn't work like that spiritually. Or in any other way. Just do the work. It'll be better. I'm preaching to myself here. I need to stop eating so much food. I'm disgusting. All right, so we're going to get started, and in about 28 minutes, you'll see massive changes. All right, we're hot. All right, so a lot of you guys probably have seen this in your everyday life and didn't know what it was. So we had a jetted tub in here, and that just plugs in. So there's an outlet over there, right? You see it? Yep. And then that plugs in, but then you have to ground your motor, and so they did. This is like number 4 wire, and they ground it to cold water. So it used to be with copper, that either copper's metal and it has water in it, so then it's going to be grounded, and cold water will always go to the ground. Hot water doesn't always necessarily go to the ground, and so they put this attachment on it, and then you're grounded to cold water. And so that's kind of a lot of times houses used to be grounded to a ground rod and to cold water, and now they have 2 ground rods. But you know, with the price of everything being so crazy high, I asked Dennis, like, hey, do you want this piece of wire? And he's like, what'd you say, Dennis?
Thinking about it.
He said, no, I'm going to refrain. I'm like, yeah, but you could put it in your garage and then hold on to it for 25 years. And he's like, yeah, I've got the wisdom to not do that anymore. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. It's actually illegal to throw away 2x4s right now, so we've got these for sale. $1,800, not bad. It's actually worth $2,200, so if you want to buy those, then come on over. I think the homeowner's got some other things too. But this is an important lesson on hoarding. If you hoard something, here's what will happen. You'll be like, I've had this piece of linoleum here in my garage for the last 25 years, and then finally be like, you know what, I'll never use it, and then you throw it away, and then what happens? The next day you're like, I need a piece of linoleum that big. So don't hoard, kids. It's bad for you. Hello, we're here still. It's been about 28 minutes. And as you can clearly tell, this was this morning a bathtub, jacuzzi bathtub, and then there was a separate shower. And as we're in the habit of doing, now it's one huge shower with 2 shower heads. So that'll be fantastical. We got a drain in there, and we got to cap off another drain in there, and then we're going to make it absolutely beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and build a little wall here, a little wall on that side, have a big, fat sliding glass door, which will be absolutely beautiful. And then we're also going to lay laminate everywhere and put it in the front and back door, which will be magnificent. Now I want to talk to you guys about temptation, because I know a lot of you are like, the devil made me do it. First of all, that's a lie. The devil didn't make you do it. You made you do it. You got tempted by something and you gave in to temptation. Here's how we give in to temptation. Are you ready? We take a legitimate need and we meet it illegitimately. And that's how you screw up, right? But you were tempted because of your own longings, and you're like, I want to do this thing. Now, let me give you like a very simple example. This is not an actual sin. This is just like
hey, the results aren't that great. So let's say that somebody says, hey, there's all these oatmeal cream pies. And you're like, that sounds delicious. I really shouldn't eat them. And so then the Bible says this. It says in 1 Corinthians 10:13, which I'm sure you guys all know all your Bible references, that no temptation has fallen you except for that which is common to man. And whenever you are tempted, God will provide a way of escape. And so as I look at these oatmeal cream pies, I'm like, I want one of those. But if I wait, okay, that temptation will pass. And check this out. If I find a legitimate way to fulfill my need, like I'm starving, it's late, we've been working more than 28 minutes today, then if I'm like, I had a salad instead or something healthy, then I won't even want the cream pie because I'll be like, I'm so full. But if I just sit there starving and thinking about it, then I'll be like, I'm going to eat that. And eventually I will. And I sadly today, I did. I succumbed to the oatmeal cream pie. And I don't feel great about it. Like I'm not a good person. So hopefully you guys can resist temptation. And habits, the first time you say no to something is very hard, but the next time it gets easier and easier every single time. And the first time you say yes to something is very hard, but it gets easier and easier every time. So stay away from oatmeal cream pies and from temptation, and God will provide a way of escape. Love you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. Nailed it. Oh, hey there. That's embarrassing. Sorry. So maybe somebody comes to you and they ask you a question like, and it's all the presentation, okay? Is this a potato or a skill saw? Put your answers in the comments. Now, we're gonna get back to that. So here's what happens. People are sheep. We're called sheep by God, by Jesus, and there's a reason for that. Okay, so imagine you're walking out of the mall, and there's 8 exit doors. And then everybody's filing out, and they're all going out this exit door. And all 7 of these are wide open. They're open. You can walk out of them. They won't. One person walks out of one, they all follow right behind them. I'm like this, but there's 7 more exit doors. And so I go maybe to the 6th one over, and I walk out, and then you know what happens? A bunch of people go, and about half the crowd splits off to the 6th door. Nobody's going to 7, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2. They just go to the, unless somebody else is like, you know what? There's another door here. And then they go out of that door. And I see it all the time. I'm like, there's another option. So when somebody's like, is this a potato or a skill saw? The answer is neither. There's another option, and that is it's a hammer, which is why I nailed it. Anyway, so as you can clearly tell, we made a ginormous shower out of this. There was a little shower right here, and then there was a bathtub right here, and now it's going to be a huge shower. You could have so many people. It's like there's so much room for activities. Hopefully they all remain clothed for obvious reasons, but nevertheless, this is going to be so exciting. So we're going to pour a pan. This is the pan liner right here. This is 40 mil rubber. And then there's our drain. And we're going to pour a pan, and we're going to let that sit, and then tomorrow we'll lay some tile on it. We're also going to blow texture in here. I'm going to do some tape and bed. Floors everywhere. What else, Dennis? Oh, front and back door. We're going to do that today. So stay tuned, or else. So a lot of times, this probably happens to me several times a day. People are like, John, do you ever take a shower? I'm like, no, I don't take a shower. I leave them right here where I made them. So anyway, you can see what I did this morning. Dennis and I did this morning. We laid this tile. It looks beautiful. And we got the faucet in, and that's amazing. And then we laid this tile, but we're not done yet. And then you can see right here. So we're gonna go do some other stuff and then come back. But we'll lay this ledge and then finish wrap around over here. We got a cool ledge for the bottom. And then we're gonna do other stuff. So I think right now it's noon and we're a go for lunch. Go for lunch. How do you, lunch or launch? Either way. We're a go for lunch because I'm hungry. We're gonna do our part to end world hunger, and we are gonna eat lunch ourselves. I figure other people can take their own food. There's plenty. All right, bye. Come look. Look at all this tile we laid today. It is simply beautiful. This is going to be one magnificent bathroom and shower. I am so excited for the person that gets to shower in here. Or people. You could bring many people. And speaking of many people, sometimes I'll be talking to somebody and they're on one side of a polarized argument, and then they will notice something pop up on my phone from a person on the other side of a polarized argument. And I can tell, they're like, you talked to that person? I'm like, yeah. I have friends on both sides of the argument because we're all just people. And we're people that are made in the image of God, and we need to love each other and stop letting everything divide us. We need to find similarities and focus on those rather than our differences. Because, Dennis, you know this, there are three sides to every triangle. That's all I got. We're gonna you nodded in the camera, yes. We're gonna grout this tomorrow, and we'll put in a pretty cool shower door. You've seen these glass shower doors we're doing these days, and they're amazing. So we're gonna put that in, and then we're gonna do laminate flooring everywhere. We're gonna blow texture in here, and I'm so excited. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And that does it. Cool. So a lot of people, first of all, a lot of people looked at this and they said, "Was there an explosion in a tile factory and it all fell together like this?" I'm like, yes, there was no intelligent design whatsoever. It just literally blew up and then randomly landed back together like this. All the plumbing, the drain, all the tile, the grout, all the lines were perfectly aligned and everything. And that was just a freak accident. And I know what you're thinking, John, that's stupid. And I'm like, but you believe the entire universe was built like that? Anyway, so the reason why you saw me do just like this is because I realized a long time ago, if I just do the last one first, I save a lot of time. So I was just like, which one's gonna be last? I calculated it, got out my spoon, I was like, done. And that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, kind of take a look at this wonderful shower. Dennis McDaniel did all the hard work, and I basically made dumb jokes and videos the whole time. So, isn't that amazing? Oof, beautiful. Beautiful. And in case you guys are not good with math, this is a little over 3 feet, unless you want to go back to here, at which point it's like, I don't know, 4.5 feet by 8.5 feet wide. And then the shower door is going to be 5 feet wide. So, simply beautiful! I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll have more videos soon. All right, so today we laid some laminate flooring. Not a lot, but let's take a quick look. We don't have baseboards on, so don't hate. But we did do all of this, and all of this, and then down the hall in their bedroom. So that's pretty amazing. But also, what else did we do? Look over there, Mike. That's not done, but still. Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Amazing, thank you. And then, what? It's all grouted and clean and shiny. How nice is that? That is going to be just so beautiful. We'll get a shower door up in there, but wowzers, huh? Dennis did such a good job on sponging off that grout. He really did. Okay, so I guess the thing though, oh, let me show you this too. This is shower ledge, which my friend Kenny, you guys know who Kenny is, was like, hey, they're selling stuff floor and decor now, and you can buy one solid piece and cut it with your wet saw, and it's, I don't know, like, I think it's a cool feature to have. So it's not cheap, but neither am I anymore. All right, so I do want to talk to you guys about making your enemies into your friends. How important is that, Mike? Very important, right? And you've seen me do that several times, right? I mean, even in the last, I don't know, month or so. There's been a difficult situation where all of a sudden we could have been angry, the other people could have been angry, and we both like took a breath and we realized, look, they're dealing with a bad thing and we're dealing with a bad thing. Let's find a way to meet in the middle. Let's find a common ground. And then we stuck with it rather than just running away like a coward. And then they're like, we really appreciate you sticking around and making all this work for us. And it just made such a difference. And then everybody was friendly to each other and happy. And we can look at each other later on in the grocery store and not be like this. And I just think it's so very important to stick around a little bit longer and be more understanding and gain more friends and take your enemies and turn them into your friends. Like, find that common ground and do whatever it takes to bring restoration, right? And maybe you were never friends in the first place. Find a way to be friends with that person, whoever in the world they are, because there's plenty of bad stuff in the world. Stop focusing on that and do something good. Anyway, shower. Tomorrow we're going to lay all this floor. So this is a preview of what it does look like now. Underwhelming on the floor, but it will be so much better once we get better flooring in. So let's take one more quick look. And as you can see, there's the red floor. I think that's lava. This is lava, so you don't want to, I would need to test it. Oh, that's very hot. Hold on. Let me just. Yeah, no, that floor is lava, so we'll have to get a lava extraction team on that one, and then we're gonna lay all this floor. All right, so you go. You might be thinking to yourself, so how do you put in a shower door? Because right now, if somebody turns this water on, I feel like it's gonna splash all over the place and make a big mess. Maybe you're not cool with that, so you put on a shower door. Now, shower doors are different. The great thing is that now they're selling them in 3 different pieces. So you're like, oh, cool, this is only a couple $100. And like, that's part 1. But then there's part 2 and part 3. And you're like, well, how much is this going to be? And they're like, a lot. Just don't even do the math. Anyway, basically what happens is you got 2 of these that are side pieces, and you put those in first. Right? You drill into the tile. And then there is a top piece that goes on top of that. And then there's your door hang on that, and then there's a bottom piece that goes on the bottom of that, and then you can put wheels in there. So I will kind of show you a few of these steps so that you can do it. But, you know, I was feeling lonely. This happens to me sometimes. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but I was feeling lonely. And so I thought, I'm going to go to like the Grand Canyon, and I'm going to yell out and then listen back for the echo. And at least that would be something, because I'm just so lonely. So I yelled out on the Grand Canyon, I love you. And after a very long, awkward pause, it came back, I have a boyfriend. So that happened. Then also, I was in a movie theater, and I heard somebody sneeze. And the same thing, I'm like, bless you. And she's like, I have a boyfriend. 3 rows back, some dude's like, I'm a vegan. Somebody else is like, I'm a helicopter pilot. Somebody else is, I'm an atheist. And somebody else is like, pro-vaccines. Oh, hey. So let me show you. We just did that in about 98 seconds, I think. It doesn't take long. So let me show you how this works. First, you get your upright, like I said. You screw that in. It's got these pads built into it, right? These squishy things, so that when the glass door comes, it just bounces off rather than, you know, shattering. Then this one, it helps it go into the channel, right? So when it slides in, wait for it. Oh, isn't that beautiful? It slides right in the channel. So yeah, you get your uprights, then you cut your bottom piece. That just gets siliconed in. You cut your top piece, that gets siliconed in. Then there's another piece in here. Come on, you can get right up close. So this kind of H-looking thing gets in there, and you put a screw in, and that keeps it from going up, like so you don't push it up and knock it loose. Usually the way the doors keeps it down enough, and you silicone it, it'll be fine. But then you just put the sliders on the glass, and you hang the glass and make sure that it works, and then put these knobs on, and pretty easy. But I did want to show you something else too. So once you do that, the silicone is very important because you don't want water getting out. We're made up of 70% water, but water can be your enemy, like if it gets in your house in the wrong places. So we silicone everywhere. There's a corner all the way down around, like all around here, all around here, all around here, and then on the other side. So anywhere there's a 90-degree angle, we silicone, right? Anywhere there's a 90-degree angle, we silicone. Over here, up against the window, we silicone. In this corner, we silicone. Down, around, all the way around, everywhere there's a 90-degree angle, we silicone it. And then you have a beautiful shower. Now, we want to talk to you, right, Mike, about loyalty, okay? And how important it is, okay? So there's a couple examples. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 examples of each. So, watch out for the glass. That would have been funny if it would have shattered, but I'm glad it didn't. Many years ago, probably 1993, so whatever that is, 28 years ago, something, I'm not good with math. Everything's 28. A friend of mine, his dad said, hey, do you want to lay tile for me? I'm like, I don't know how, because I got laid off. And he said, that's okay, there's a free class at Home Depot. And I took this free class at Home Depot that took, I don't know, 15 minutes, and they told me how to lay tile. And I was like, I think I can do that. It turns out that because I took that class, I started a business that has been very profitable, okay? But in exchange for that, in exchange for their free class, when Lowe's popped up and when lots of other places popped up, I was like, Home Depot helped me when I needed it, and they helped launch my business. Therefore, I shop almost exclusively at Home Depot. There are things that I can't get there or whatever, but for the most part, if they do have it, I buy it from them. And they have made millions and millions and millions of dollars off of me through all the decades, because I spend so much. I spent $250,000 there last year alone. So they have made plenty of money off their 15-minute free class. So that's a good example of like, hey, this is important. Now here's another example of you did it wrong, okay? So I laid a Pergo floor back in like 94, 95, something like that, maybe 96. Laid this Pergo floor, it was right when the Pergo floors came out. A year later, the customer came back and sued me and wouldn't let me look at it, wouldn't let me fix it or anything. And when I went to court, they said, yeah, you have 10 places in an entire house that have a 0.3 millimeter gap. And I was like, is this real life? And so their Pergo rep got up there and said, oh yeah, that's way beyond tolerance or something like that. And I ended up getting sued and I lost, and I think it cost me $4,000 or something like that. But I haven't bought a Pergo floor since. And let me just say, I have installed a lot of laminate floors, but I will not put in a Pergo floor, because when it came down to it, they're like, oh, the little guy, screw him. And I'm like, oh yeah, screw me? Well, screw you too, buddy. So loyalty goes a long way. And I think it is very important that we understand that even though Pergo did win that battle, right, they didn't have to pay for the floor. And I'm like, but how much would it have cost you? Because it only cost me, I charged $2,000 to put in the floor, but I had to pay $4,000 to have it reinstalled. But I took out tile and all kind of things. So that means that the materials were like probably less than half of that, so $700. And then what do you think Pergo paid for them? Like $300? And I'm like, so you lost a customer for life over $300. Dumb move. All right, on another note, if we flip around here, we are giving away 2 mirrors exactly like this. And if you look close enough, you can see your own reflection in them. And so it's got a beautiful picture of you. Look closely. Isn't that beautiful? That's you. So you could get this for free. It's a big picture of you, and it moves when you move. Truly amazing. Come get it. Bye-bye. Welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. And maybe you've got popcorn on your ceiling, and you're tired of eating it because it's gotten stale. Don't worry. What you do is you get one of these pump sprayers, and you fill it up with, what do you think you filled up with, Kathy?
Acid.
Very close. Acid and what else?
Water.
Unicorn horns, 47 pumps, protein powder, and a lot of good intentions. So you put that up there and let it sit for a second, and then what? Oh, I'll show you. Come on out here so that we can all see what's going on and you don't get stuff on your head.
Are you gonna get it on me if I come in there?
Oh, good point. Never mind.
I got some places to go.
And then you peel it off.
Oh gosh.
Isn't that magical? And so satisfying. So
That is, oh, I really want to do that.
you can in just a second. So if nobody else has encouraged you guys to stress out about nothing today, let me be the first. Let me just encourage you to stress out about nothing, because it's so very important. Now, another thing that I want to tell you is I invent a lot of things. I'm sure you guys know this. And the next thing I want to invent, and I was inspired by a 7-year-old girl, is a fire truck. And I know you guys are going to argue, they already have fire trucks. Think it through. What do fire trucks deliver? Water. I will deliver fire. It's a fire truck. All right, so today we are going to paint this room, but because it's got wood paneling on it, then we had to sand it first. And so obviously to sand it, we have to get sandpaper, and then we just, and it's wonderful. Now to get the sandpaper, we really enjoy that part because we go to the beach and hang out, and we just chill for a couple days, and then we get a little bit of sand, and then we sprinkle it across some glue on some paper, and then that works. So in my life, I've known a lot of people named Junior, but I've never met one person named Senior, and I'm like, I don't know if this is real. Oh, hey there. Me, just sitting here by the pool. This is usually what I do during the day, waiting for paint to dry. It's really fun if you like waiting for paint to dry. So James and I were just talking about history and how some history is exciting and some history is less exciting. Some of it's terrifying. But what if we had just a history channel that was like boring history? I mean, technically it's history, but it's like today these people just sat around. You're like, and then what? That's it. You just watch that for an hour. And then coming up next on history, boring history channel is like, and then what happened? Then these guys mowed their lawn. You're like, and they weed whacked and edged and stuff. You're like, anything else? Like, nope, that's it. And next hour on the boring history channel, somebody cooked dinner. You're like, this sucks. This is not interesting at all. All right, so I do want to tell you I met this girl and she had a taser. She was stunning. Seriously, she was stunning. I was like, ah! I didn't mean to startle her. Anyway, here's some real history that's actually kind of interesting. I was doing a show in, I think, Milwaukee. I honestly don't remember where it was. About 15 years ago. And everybody on the crew was like, hey, there's this secret bar that nobody really knows about, and you have to have a password to get in. And I'm like, I don't care that much. And they're like, we're all gonna go. So we all tracked it down, and somebody found the password or whatever. It's some back alley. There's no sign out front, nothing. We get into this thing. It's very, very small. There's just a guy like with a podium, and he looks at us like, you know the password? And so somebody's about to say, he goes, huh, not out loud. Come over here. And he whispers in his ear. He goes, no, that's not it. And we're like, what? We thought that was it. Like 3 people told us that was what it was. He goes, no, that's not the password. Sorry. And so we're like, well, how do we get in? And he's like, how do you get in? I was like, what if I could do the splits? And he goes, I don't know, try it. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I can do the splits. So let's just take a look. You know, I was like this. And then the dude's like, all right, I'll let you in. So he lets me in. And he opens up the door, and then there's a whole bar in there. And as soon as they open up the door, me and my whole crowd walks in, and everybody starts clapping. And I'm like, why are they clapping for us? Well, you know why they were clapping for us? Because there's hidden cameras in that room that we went into, and everybody's in on it. There's TVs all over this bar that like show whatever the idiot's doing to get inside the bar in the first place. And so everybody's in on it, and they're all just laughing like, oh, you just did the splits. I'm like, I did just do the splits. Thank you very much. I'm sure other people do other stupid things, but sometimes you feel like, you know what, I'm not being watched, but sometimes you are. So think about that while you're watching the Boring History Channel.
It's the new year, so we've decided to kick things up a notch.
Turns out feeling tired, worn out, and unmotivated is just no way to live. Hey, girly man, think you can put a little effort into that?
Healthy living. It's what we do.
Come on, get it, boy. If you want to save a bunch of money on your health insurance, participate in the town's wellness program.
Earn up to $15 a month off your insurance premium. And a chance to win some sweet cash and prizes. Cha-ching.
So you can be awesome like us. Come on, bro. Do you even lift? Come on, push it.
What's my body type? It's extra medium. It took years of neglect to get a body like this. But I wanted to save $15 on my insurance because I'm cheap. You should too. Jump on board.